Okay, we caught you. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's going on? Oh, I done caught you off guard again. I done caught you off guard again. Oh my God. How y'all doing, family? I've been missing on y'all. How y'all been doing? Hopefully I come to you in the best of health. And you are in the best of health and your family is best of health and everything is going well for you. Family, I gotta come to you today and ask you some questions. There's a lot of people keep hitting me in my inbox, asking me about this hope letter to Obama. The Moor thing, the are we indigenous here? There's a lot of questions about the rights for indigenous people. Are they talking about them? They took Columbus Day out and put the rights of indigenous people in. A lot of people are confused. Do they call themselves black? Do they call themselves Moor? Um, it's like a Cinderella story where you have been a slave, or you've been a housekeeper, or you've been somebody that was underpaid or not paid at all, and come to find out that you're a prince or a princess or a queen. It's an unbelievable thing to believe. A lot of people is hitting me up asking, can I please do something on this? Well, as you can see in my description down below, this is to more or not to more. The question here is to more or not to more. Is this Morocco Empire Africa? Was this Africa before Christopher Columbus? Uh, did we migrate from, were we on slave boats? Were we always here? Are we the Indians? There's a lot to be said today. I will try to get to everything, so I'm not trying to keep everybody. And I'll probably touch on a few things. But most people are asking, what was Obama saying when he said this was North, America, and this was Morocco? And that Morocco was the first people to recognize America. Were they talking about Morocco, the kingdom? Were they talking about the Morocco that's here? A lot of people are punching up Morocco, Empire, Africa, America, and then coming up with a whole bunch of information. Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, to say the least, have said this was Morocco and that we're indigenous here. Um, the Pope letter also speaks about us getting and starting our own traditions over again and possibly not, I don't know, actually unseating him as the president if he didn't tell the people. So there's a lot of information going on out there. Should we call ourselves black? Black power, RBG or RGB community, Marcus Garvey, Dr. Ben, even though both of them said that they were Moors. So people like SETI and Pharaoh, they are trying to bring the idea that being a Moor is, you know, maybe being, you're not black or you're, Arabic or what is it, Arabic, but you got to know the story behind that. We used to have a huge infrastructure in Africa, where we were one of the biggest traders as far as trading goods and merchandise and commerce. in the midst of doing that, we had a lot of, just as they bought Christianity, they also bought Islam or Muslims. And we adapted to their culture of Islam, and we've kind of taken it on our own, and we've kind of like, adapted to that. But this is way in like 24 BC. Okay, AD, somewhere way back there. And so it's not necessarily, it is a culture of Muslim that was adopted, but we was calling ourselves Moors prior to that, I believe. So anyway, at this point in time, all of our bills and constitution was built on Muslim law. You can look this up for yourself. All of the Constitution was built in Muslim law, not Christian law. It tells you this Constitution is made in Muslim law because we were already over here. And they were trying to get up under our skirt. I pledge allegiance to the flag, to the United States of America, into the Republic. Into the Republic. We are the Republic, which is Morocco, Empire, Africa. So, we're in the Constitution. You may have seen a lot of stuff where people talking about they're sovereign and all that, and they don't have to abide by any rules and regulations that America have to offer because it's not talking about us because we're indigenous here. In some degrees, that is true. It's only when you take on a citizenship role, which if you're melanated, you're not still a citizen because it never was ratified. So we attempted to become citizens, and they were saying, how can you be Aboriginal and a citizen at the same time? So they didn't ever ratify that. So at this point in time, you're in limbo as this black person. They never had any contract with a black person. They only had a contract with Moors or Negroes. They never had a contract with black people. They've never, it doesn't even have any constitutional standing in law. Because who are these black people? Black what? What's your nationality? Where you came from? There's no black country here on this planet. Some people say, oh, we're African American, and so and African people call themselves black. Nobody in Africa calls themselves black. They will say what state and city and province they are. I'm Jamaican. I'm Tanzanian. I'm something. They're not going to say I'm black. They're not black. In fact, they don't call themselves black. They actually call themselves white because of the pureness of their blood, because of the pureness to the planet, because of the pureness straight from God. There's no mix on these people. They're the pureness. They're the first people on the planet. Why would they call themselves black as if it was a white? They call themselves white for pureness, and it was a status. Even the people in Africa. Okay. We're the only people that decided to take the information that was allocated for a lesser human being or a hybrid human being or a hybrid mixed man-like person. They were called black. Not because of the color of their skin, it's because they are hybrids. They are mixed with other things. They're not 100% of, human. They are talking, Harvard is talking about, Harvard University says they are mixed with Neanderthal, which is an animal. Okay, and their blood is showing up with that. Caucasians' blood is showing up with Neanderthal blood. This is what Harvard said, not what I said. So because they're mixed with these different animals, and there's other animals mixed as well, they cannot be 100% white or anything. And even in their books, it said the only way you can be white unless you are mixed with some African something, because at least you have some pureness in you from a regular human being, And the color black back in the day used to be called pale, bleached out. This is in the etymology books. You can go grab one, maybe on your computer, and check it out. So for us to call ourselves black, they're calling us incompetent. Because why would you call yourself black? I understand a stereotype. I understand a genre of people that called you some different names out of the character, trying to demean you. I understand that, but for you to call yourself that, that's out of the question. And so they call you incompetent. And the reason why the minority thing came up is because if you punch up minority, it stands for minor, child, kid. So when they say you're a minority, they're saying that you're kid like, or you're incompetent, or you're not a grown person, or you a child or a boy, and all that stuff. And we allow them to call us minorities as well. And because we don't know who we are, and for good reason we don't know who we are, you know? Uh, I wanted to stop to say, to question yourself, are you a Moor or are you not going to be a Moor? If you're a Moor, then it comes with privileges. It does. You don't pay taxes anymore. You're respected not only here in America, but you're respected all across the world. You have an identity. You have a nationality. Um, you have a oneness with the universe, your ancestors. You have a oneness and a reason to know that you're just not nothing here, you know. Or you can say you're black. Black power, black power. And what black is actually telling them, when you say black power, you are giving the white man power because he's the original black man. Are you guys aware what troglodyte nigga is? The first term troglodyte nigga was in reference to the cavemen when they were still living in caves. And they called themselves troglodyte niggas. So now for you to call yourself a nigga, like you've been in the cave, this is again incompetence. You're calling everything that they were calling themselves, not to say that the troglodyte nigga is a bad thing, because it was just what they called themselves when they were in the cave. That's what that's what they call themselves. Or that's what the world called them. I don't know, whatever. So, but to call yourself something out of a cave, you're the only 100% human, and you calling yourself a animal hybrid, it's incompetent. No matter how rich you get, how poor you get, you can never be a nigga if you're really African. These things. You can't. You can't be a nigga. Because you never came out of a cave. They can't find a cave in Africa yet. So, I'm just saying. So these are some of the things that I'm talking about today. The Pope letter to Obama, where the Pope actually said that he would unseat the president, he would stop the army, he would take Homeland Security out because these was only minor corporations posing as if they had power here in America. That Obama was the minor president, and that the Moors, or the African Americans here, were actually the organic people and the original people here again, and that we were the people that they were going to fight for, because I understand some of the gangbanging stuff, and we're tough, and we're this and that. That's just an act. Because your natural way that you would want to be naturally, if there wasn't all of this repetitive crap that they're putting on you, where you really don't have a way to live or provide for your family, it's just a natural act. Because most of these people actually, wish they was doing better or could do better. So anyway, the Pope letter to Obama, I don't know if you guys have looked it up. I suggest everybody after this video go check out the Pope letter to Obama. It's a very highly informational situation where he's actually saying that America owes us reparations, that they, that that they had a lot of war, genocide on us, and a whole bunch of stuff is in the letter. And he actually sent that via his own attorney. He wrote it all in red. He had a red blood, thumbprint. He told Obama he needs to tell us who we are. Who is the we? He specifically said the people that you had in slavery. He's talking about us, the African Americans. He called us African Americans, the so-called African Americans. You know, there's a lot of proclamations that Chicago has done. Ron Emanuel has done. You can check that too. Ron Emanuel, governor, mayor. And his proclamation telling you that you were Moors, that you've been here, you traveled from Egypt back in the day, but you've been here for some thousands of years. There was only 2% of us in slavery. 2%. And so I'm going to go over the Pope letter to Obama, and I'm going to allow you to read it for yourself, but I'm going to read it to you. The Pope letter to Obama. And I'm going to try to make some sense out of this. And you need to be, this should be, I can understand Kanye West, and he's talking about the slave thing, and he, no, or just the regular words. He's talking about the slave thing, and it was a choice to be in slavery. Obama, the Pope has given this letter to Obama in 2012. It's 2018. Nobody's talking about it. So is it a choice to continue in our sorrows? Other leaders being sold out, so they're not telling you? I don't know, but I've kind of been on everybody's platform telling them, please talk about this, because this is monumental as far as helping the people that are just thirsty to find out who they are and just something, And so I was going to read this Pope letter to you, and just see what you think about it. This is word for word, and you can go to Pope letter to Obama, President Obama. And this is a real heck of a letter about this. And I hope you guys are listening to every word from my mouth. I, in some kind of way, I could probably, no. Okay, anyway, so I'm going to read this thing to you guys. Pope Francis sends Obama a powerful letter via the attorney. Issued to all members of the domestic police force, U.S. Marshal Service, and Provost Marshals, members of the American Bar Association and American Armed Services. Okay? These organic American states of the Union, known as the United States of America, major exercising planetary civil power upon the land, hereby appoints General Carter F. Ham to lead and command the Grand Army of the Republic, GR, and its assessors under the guidelines of the Joint Chief of Staff and with their full support. Should it become necessary to suppress commercial masonry forces, operated under the guise of being federal government agencies, included but not limited to the Department of Homeland Security. What? The Federal Emergency Management Administration, the Internal Revenue Service, the Bureau of Alcohol and Tobacco and Firearms. General Ham shall assume immediate command and control of all armed forces and services owned to the United States of America major. Okay. Stationed in North America and shall join them under the command as the Grand Army of the Republic. All forces of air, land, and sea are to be deployed. Any cost or loss suffered as a result of deployment of the Grand Army of the Republic shall be charged as stipulated prior. All efforts shall be made by the Grand Army of the Republic to spare life and property while undertaking any actions whatsoever with the states of the Union without exception. The GAR is uniquely enabled by these orders to operate on the land of the 50 organic states for the purpose of securing the lives and property of American states and American state citizens. And GAR is not a foreign army, it is composed of American state citizens. If required to take field positions, the local commander shall make every effort to communicate the basis of their authority and the reasons for their presence on American state subversion and act of sorry. Hold on. If it is required to take field position, the local commander shall make every effort to communicate the basis of the authority and reasoning for the for their presence on American state soil to ensure a prompt cessation of hostility and a widespread understanding of the your spot and the acts of fraud which have led to any conflict. All parties must be brought to understanding the nature of the federal government, the limitations of its authority, and their own obligation to act in favor of the organic states of the Union. The Grand Army of the Republic shall continue to operate under General Orders 1000, known as the Lieber Code, extant from the pen of the last Republic President Abraham Lincoln. So they're saying it has not been a real president here. There has not been a real president here. The last president, according to the Pope, was Abraham Lincoln. No order, executive or otherwise, issued by Barack H. Obama pretending authority on the lands of America states while operating as president. The United States Corporation, nor as the President of the United States of America minor, are owed any performance by the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Ham, or in any other ordinance. All plainly stated grants of contractual authority evidence in the Constitution of the United States of America remains in place. Did you know in the Constitution it said that we was Moors and that we owned this place and that they were supposed to give us we wasn't supposed to pay for nothing. Everything that we wanted, it had to have been given through vouchers. We couldn't even touch money. We could only use gold and silver to pay for stuff if we wanted to pay for stuff. That's in the Constitution. But we don't read that because we're calling ourselves blacks and not Moors. But I digress. Okay. Mr. Obama is the president of the Mr. Obama is the governmental service corporation under contract to provide stipulated services to the organic states and is on their payroll. He acts as a foreign dignitary representing the United States of America minor. In either of these capacities, is he allowed any granted authority to impose upon American state citizens, endangering American state property, or commanded mercenary forces on American state soil, however, bill or federal civilian service agency. We require the Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Ham, to commence measures to disarm. Okay. You say nobody's working with you. You don't have a chance. What are we going to do? Okay, so they're talking about disarming, okay, servicemen, police. Okay. All right. So apparently somebody was trying to endanger us as Americans on American state property. We require that the Joint Chief of Staff, General Ham, to commence measures to disarm federal civilian agencies, personnel, and to seize control of the vast stocks of arms which have been improperly amassed by the Department of Homeland Security and FEMA and other agencies employed by the United States. The only federal agency allowed free agrees on this land of America's state is the U.S. Marshal Service, according to them. That's the only company that they're allowing since 2012 to actually become a company and actually do business is the U.S. Marshal Service. And then only when their personnel are engaged in their duties to protect the U.S. mail. So when you say America's doing all of this and the government's doing all of that and they don't really like you and these are separate entity of people that is not abiding by the rules of America. These are separate corporations like McDonald's that went rogue, you know? And so they're saying, look, you're not going to put our name involved with this and do any kind of genocidal stuff to these otherwise peaceful human beings. You're not doing anything on account of my name. So they're saying that they're minor, okay? And they're rogue or foreign dignitaries, and that they're trying to disarm them at this point, and they don't have any power. So I'm just saying, this is the reason why I'm saying, why isn't anybody talking about this? This is the most interesting news ever. I think that somebody should know that we do have somebody trying to help us, or we can help ourselves, at least know that all the rest of these companies, Homeland Security, I guess maybe they were trying to do some stuff, I'm not sure. I don't know. FEMA was trying to do some stuff or planning some stuff, I don't know. But they was going to unseat Obama. Okay. So anyway, I digress again. The only federal agency allowed to freely agree on this land is the U.S. Marshal, and then only when they're processing and engaging in the protection of U.S. mail and sworn to act as constitutional officers. All other federal agencies personnel limited to unarmed services until further notice. All right. All other agencies other than the post office are limited to personnel, and their agencies are limited to unarmed service. So the police coming there with a gun, the army coming there with a gun, the Navy, Air Force, with a gun, they not being sent here by America. They're on their own accord until you hear otherwise. Okay. We direct the Joint Chief of Staff to communicate these first two general civil orders directly to Obama, Mr. Obama. The members of the U.S. Congress, the administrators to all federal agencies, the members of all Supreme Courts, and those acting as governors to compel their rapid understanding and cooperation. So the governor in your home, the governor, the mayor, or whoever saying that these people are all right to come in and commit treason on you. Yeah, he has unarmed all them, and all their authority has been demolished until otherwise said so. Okay. Any expenses or damage incurred by these organic states or any American state citizen. They call you American state citizen. They don't call you black. American state citizen. What does that mean? Every individual is representative of the state. That's how special you are. The state. That's how much. That's how powerful you are. We did start this conversation on saying, you remember Cinderella? You're actually a queen, really, because each one of us is a state. Okay, so any expenses or damage incurred by these organic states or any American state citizen as a result of actions undertaken by the federal agency personnel acting as armed mercenaries. They've already disarmed us. I've heard in some states they done already took all of the bullets from different police departments. Okay? So all these tankers they have all out there and all that, and they acting on their own accord as a foreign dignitary. They have nothing to do with America. What's your password? And so all right, any any expenses or damages occurred by these organic states or any American state citizen, as a result of actions undertaken by any federal agency personnel acting as armed mercenaries on American state soil will be understood as the result of violent crimes committed against the peaceful inhabitants. Peaceful inhabitants. They call you the peaceful inhabitants. You've always been the peaceful inhabitants. You've always went into slavery, and 400 years, that's peaceful. What you do? You can't kidnap somebody for 5 seconds now. That's wrong for 400 years. So we are peaceful inhabitants of the land and will occur immediate judgment liquidating the assets of the Internal Monetary Fund, the MIF. Anybody. So he's not playing. The Federal Reserve in payment of stipulated reparations. So they're saying that they will liquidate the IMF and the Federal Reserve to give you a reparation. If they're not willing to give you the reparations now, they better stand down. But if they do decide to forge on, the monetary, all of the IMF is gone. A Federal Reserve, trillions of billions of dollars is gone. Okay? In payment of the stipulated reparations. Such crimes shall also be considered contract default, increasing the public's debt subject to balance. Any and all corporate offices of the United States or any assessor organizations herein federal services contract to support, condone, or promote such crimes against American states or the American state citizens shall be subjected to arrest and prosecution for commercial and violent crimes. All foreign officials operating as elected or appointed officers or officials of the United States of America, minors who support, condone, or promote such crimes against American states or American state citizens shall be subject to arrest, confiscating of their assets, and deported to Puerto Rico, Guam, or any such other state that may be willing to receive them. So they're not playing. Okay. Such foreign officials include members of the American and British Bar Association who were licensed to act as privateers against the interests of American states and American state citizens. What does that mean? They will put up barriers and laws so that you can get your reparations. They will put up barriers and laws so that they can separate you. They will put up barriers and laws so that they can condemn you for crimes that wouldn't really warrant. It really would be an excess. And it wasn't down the line. We'll say, like, hypothetically, back in the day, where there was a crack epidemic. But that stuff was mostly flour with just a pinch of damn cocaine. Excuse my French. And you would get 35 years in jail. A pinch of cocaine and a bunch of flour. Baking soda or something. I don't know what it was. Right? But if you was found with pounds and pounds of real cocaine, you would just get a slap on the hand, depending on what color you were. So that's what I'm saying. So when you have the Bar Association from Britain, Bar Association, and you have American lawyers working together to continue to tell you you're not nothing, or you broke the law, or the reason why you can't buy this house is because of the color of your skin, the reason why, just all kinds of excuses, and you can't sue them, or if you do try to sue, something happens to you. There's always something. Yeah, the lawyers are involved. Nobody has paid for any of these crimes yet. Are you aware that reparations have been given to other people? The Jews just got the reparations, and it even happened here. They just paid these people. But you better not say anything about it because the British lawyers and American lawyers get together. So anyway, such foreign officials include members of the American and the British Association who were licensed to act as private profiteer against the interests of American states and American state citizens from year 1845 to year 2013 in flagrant breach of trust. All such licenses are now extinguished. Members of the Bar Association are required to cease and to cease the assault against American states and American state citizens, and shall be a subject to arrest, confiscation, and being deported. In so much as corporate office operating the United States of America Incorporated and the United States have contrived under conditions of fraud and systematic deceiving to revenue the estates of the American state and the living American state citizens to a foreign jurisdiction of the United States of America minor. Let me repeat that. The reason why you cannot get any fair treatment here, huh? Okay, I'm gonna say it in their own words. In so much as corporated officers operating the United States of America Incorporated and the United States have contrived under conditions of fraud and systematic deception to revenues the estate of the American states and the living American state citizens to a foreign jurisdiction of America, of the United States of America minor. They are found guilty of capital crimes, including the acts of fraud and treason committed between 1933 and 1945. What do you think that meant? All of those hangings, beat down, devil punch bowl, all the murders you see in the street, all that. Separate but equal and all that kind of stuff. You know, so I'm guessing they're thinking about that, and all are commended posthumously, in much so as elected officials operating the United States of America minor have similar committed war crimes against the American states and their peaceful inhabitants during the same time period. They stand condemned posthumously. No enforcement upon any state, I mean, no enforcement upon any American state or American state citizens is owed as a result of any action of any Congress operating as a sovereign uh, government of the United States of America minor, nor as a board of directors or board of trustees of any corporation entitled whatsoever. So you're not sovereign. You're not on your own. You're not aboriginal. I got hired, so I'm going to take over the whole country and do things my way. You don't get that, according to the folks that feel about. All those estates and estates erroneously believed to represent the American states and American state citizens, and which we are conveyed by fraud and legal deception to the United States of America minor, and more recently to the city state of the United Nations, or revenue without exception to the geographically defined American states and American state citizens, where they shall remain in perpetuity as assets belonging to the rightful and lawful beneficiaries. All legal fiction and titles, however, struck and named after the American state and American state citizens are returned to them and their control. What are they talking about there? They're saying all legal fiction and titles, however structural and named after the American states and American state citizens, are returned to them in their control. So we supposed to be controlling America. We supposed to have our land back. We supposed to have our IMF accounts back. We're supposed to have all of our TDA accounts back. Okay? They said to return it to them free and clear and of any debt, promised, encompassing, or obligated alleged against them as a result of false claims made in their behalf. You owe them something. You owe them everything after slavery. You owe them, you owe them, you owe them. You don't owe them absolutely nothing. Never did. Okay? But the lawyers will say that you did. So, um, anyway, so my favorite part is that American state citizens are returned to them. The American states to the American state citizens are returned to them in their control, free and clear of any debt, promise, encumbrances, or obligation alleged against them as a result of false claims being made on their behalf by officers of the United States of America, the United States Inc., or by any foreign officials operating in the United States of America minor, or the United Nations city, state falsely claiming to represent them or have jurisdiction over them. So they're saying that the United Nations have some, you know, representation and they're over us and they have jurisdiction over us. No, they don't. No, they don't. Not according to the folk that owns America. The free. Okay. So we know that the current circumstances is a part and the result of criminal acts engaged in 150 years of this. 150 years, you know, criminals that happened 150 years ago. which resulted in the commercial enslavement of African Americans who were similarly claimed as chattel, backing the U.S. government debt in wake of the Civil War. So they have claimed you as chattel. That's why you now receive your driver license and all your mail in caps because they are banking with your money. You have become the pawn ticket, I guess, backing the whole entire government. You are the one they call nigger and blackface and mowing you down in the street. You are the collateral behind the U.S. government debt in wake of the Civil War. Despite every action of abolition and declaration of prohibit, prohibit, prohibition, prohibition against both peonage and slavery, it has been the policy of the U.S. government to enslave its citizens and to operate as a rogue state among the nations of the world. Rogue state among the world. Okay. Rogue state among the world. Instead of freeing African Americans, the sum total, uh, freeing the African Americans for the sum total resulting of the Civil War was to vastly expand public sector's ownership of slaves, giving rise to outrageous and improper claims that have been made against the American states and American state citizens that we are dealing with today. It is unique. It is uniquely fitting that the Grand Army of the Republic is recalled to settle these circumstances in the favor of the people. Okay. And so this was given to the United States, you know, given to Barack Obama and Hillary and Clinton sit there in front of these flags here telling everybody that Morocco, this was Morocco Empire Africa, we was indigenous here and everything. But yet, since they said that, nobody has said anything. What do we do now? Where do we go now? What powers do we have now? Where's the money? Where's the land? Where's the power? Where's the IMF stuff he was talking about? Somebody owed or something. Or did we get a treat by them not attacking us or putting us in Homeland Security or whatever they were planning on doing? Was that the treat? I don't know. That's the question. I would ask you to go look at the, whole letter to Obama yourself. And look at the Constitution, where it's calling you Moors. And you'd have to go out of your way for them not to call you a Moor. And so forth. These days, that's what we're doing, calling ourselves black, African American, nigger, all that. We've gone out our way not to be called Moors. Who would ever thought? So, leave something in the comments. I know my comments gonna blow up, but this is something we need to talk about. It's something that we, the people, are the American state citizens, and we need to think about this. When you think that we're out here alone and, the little old lady doesn't have no defense, your kids don't have this, your family don't have that. But there is a letter called the Pope Letter to Obama where they're telling them to cease and assist and for you to go out there and get your stuff. For you to start making traditions yourself. And if they come and try to stop your traditions, they could be arrested. You have a right to a nationality. You have a right to a culture. You have a right to everything everybody else on this planet has. So it's about time for us to start getting together and figuring out what that culture and what that tradition is. And naturally, we were called Moors. Our nationality was Moor. You can Moor or not to Moor? That is the question. For you, ladies and gentlemen, I love you, family. You know I do. I always want to see you in the best of health. I'm coming to you today again with another question and hopefully some answers and for some stuff for you to research. Anyway, I gotta go. And thank you very much for listening to South Central TV. Always like that like button and always subscribe. And I always have something very interesting coming for you next time. I'll talk to you later and God bless you and I love you forever. United States citizen. You're more than a nothing. You're everything. Love you.